So in July of 2023, we had at that point, I want to say like 7 paying customers that we had like scrapped for tooth and nail over the course of 6 months.
Where did they come from?
They came from mostly my personal network.
Okay.
And then sometimes my personal network facilitated by investor introductions. So usually like when we were doing HR and customer success, I would usually go to someone I knew at a company. And I typically didn't know the HR customer success person, but I know someone at basically every company in some role. And especially HR was super easy because I was like, hey, did you recently go through new employee onboarding? Like, what was that like? Who ran that? And then they would introduce me directly to the person who ran new employee onboarding. Again, timing was bad there because there was not a lot of hiring going on. And then same thing with customer success. I would say, hey, just introduce me to whoever runs customer success. I'd love to meet them for 30 minutes. And so it was all, like warm networks. And I was thinking like, man, if I can't convert more than 7 in 6 months off of my warm network, like something is really wrong here, because like there's no way I can then scale that to cold outbound or something. Because these people in my warm network, like, they actually did have the problem to some degree. We didn't have the right solution. We weren't packaging it the right way. We weren't selling it in the right way. Like something was wrong.
Yeah. And you can kind of tell that funnel, that like customer development or early sales funnel is just feels very weak. You tell people about it, they're like, yeah, okay. And then they look at it and they're not buying it.
It was going to be hard, so I didn't want to give up too early, because I'm sure we've both talked to founders that are like, I tried to sell my product to 3 people and no one bought it. I need to pivot. It's like, well, no, you need to try way harder than that. But like,
100%.
I probably talked to 100 HR leaders and 100 customer success leaders, and I was getting a lot of first meetings, and I talked to some people I trust who have done sales before, and they're like, yeah, you're getting first meetings, like, but they're not converting. So something is wrong. Like you're getting first meetings with the right people and they're not converting. So something is wrong about your messaging or your product or their positioning or the product. There's like something is wrong.
And it's not the number of meetings. It's below. It's the next step.
Exactly. And where exactly it was not totally clear, because it was a combination of all of those other things. But like I felt like I had tried hard enough to know that it wasn't just me being lazy. Like this was not working. And so in July, we decided a few big things. And again, largely based on intuition, but also informed by these 200 customer conversations I had over the course of the last 6 months. And we decided we're building an automation tool. We're going to compete directly with Zapier. The way we're going to differentiate from Zapier is that we provide human-in-the-loop collaboration for workflows that can't be fully automated. And as soon as we made that decision, it just clarified everything for us. It made it much clearer how to position ourselves. It made it much clearer what audience we were targeting. It made it much clearer which go-to-market motions made sense for us, because like direct departmental sales and cold emailing weren't the right place to start. We'll get there eventually, but they're not the right place to start. The right place, the reason people discover Relay.App today and the reason people discover Zapier is they're like, I'm looking to connect Apollo and Pipedrive. Like I have this problem. Like I create all these contacts in Apollo and I need to get them into Pipedrive. Like, how do I do that? And people go to Google and they type in like how to add new Pipedrive contact for a new Apollo contact. And they almost, for any query like that you write, you get a Zapier page number 1. And now, increasingly, you'll get a Relay.App page in the top 5 as well. But it also meant like we knew which tools our users would have the highest affinity for. We knew what kind of roles and job titles they tended to be in. We knew what their sort of psychographic profile was. It made everything way, way, way easier. And so we decided, like, we're building an automation tool. It's a Zapier competitor. Our differentiation is human in the loop. We're going to go after it in a bottom-up manner where we catch people in their moment of need, where they're looking for an automation tool. We sign them to a totally self-serve experience, and then we go from there. And so we basically rebuilt that product from July 2023 to October 2023. We ripped out a bunch of the complex functionality we had built for these multi-party Asana-like collaborative to-do lists that we didn't need anymore in that new, narrower, automation-focused vision of the product. Mm-hmm. We launched in October on Product Hunt and with a TechCrunch article. We didn't even have a paywall at the time. We had a pricing page, but we didn't have a paywall. We were just like, hey, if anyone hits the paywall, we'll just send them an email and send them a Stripe link and ask them to pay. And so, then we did start to get it. Again, it's like you can tell that it's working. Like we started to see activation numbers that looked good, like 20-ish%. We started to see conversion to paid numbers that looked pretty good, like 10% of signups converting to paid in the freemium model. And again, we were like emailing the paywall link saying, hey, please pay us some money. Then, but we could like, and this, we were still very integration poor at the time. We only had like 40 integrations. Now we have 100. And so we were still hustling for every customer at that point, because pretty much every customer that came in, we needed to do something to activate them. We needed to build some Zapier table stakes feature. We needed to fix some bug. We needed to add a new integration. So we were still doing a lot of like hands-on customer support. Like I can still name those first 100 users, like literally by name, like what tools they're using and what we had to build for them. And like, you have a very special relationship with your early users, because they took a big bet on you. And so you feel a lot of responsibility to them. And then at the very end of the year, like approaching the Christmas kind of holiday season, things started to work actually self-serve. And so we built an in-product paywall. We turned it on Christmas Day. We got our first couple paid conversions like in the Christmas week. And we're like, okay, if we're all coming back from Christmas vacation with more paying customers than we left with, like that's a good sign. Like there's an engine here that's sort of working and that we're onto something. And so then in January, we decided way too late to start doing some marketing and growth marketing experiments in earnest. And we can talk more about like what channels we experimented with, why, and what we've learned over the past now 3 months.